All right, folks, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Let's get airborne with our weekly options brief, our second free brief, full throttle week. Welcome aboard. Absolutely fantastic morning so far. How many of you, let's start off in a interesting place. How many of you practice mindfulness or meditate? And how many of you practice yoga? That's how we're going to start our live trade brief today. Let me see the answers. We have like 800 people registered for these briefs, which is awesome. How many of you practice mindfulness? Yes for mindfulness, no for yoga. Not yet. Mindfulness, but no yoga. Lee, yes. Now, Betty, both and all, good. Christina, yes. Bob, no. Okay. What the hell does this have to do with trading? Everything. Absolutely everything. Now, let me start from a level set. 5 years ago, if I started a live trade brief talking about mindfulness or yoga, I'd kick my own ass and take my lunch money. And that dude died on a bed in Mexico with Marcus Luttrell, Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee. And that guy's dead. I bring this up, folks, because my mindfulness practice, my yoga practice has made me, well, you ready for this? A better human being. And I'm going to tell you, a much better and much more disciplined trader. Now, it's funny because whether it's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, they both got blamed for external factors for sucking this season, right? Aha, he should have gotten a divorce. He sucks now. Oh, okay. Aaron Rodgers said he did ayahuasca. That's why he sucked this season. Really? We're going to talk about all this stuff tomorrow and maybe a little bit tonight. But 90, after doing this for over 3 decades, 90% of what you're here doing is right here. It's mental. So if this ain't good, this will be awful. You know how I feel when I lose money on a trade? Fine. You know how I feel when I make money on a trade? Fine. If you're super happy when you make money on a trade and you're super pissed off when you lose money on a trade, you're miserable. Trust me. Okay? Interesting way to start a live trade brief, but woke up. So, folks, I wake up in the morning, I wash my face, brush my teeth, and I go right back and I do a 20-minute mindfulness practice. Then I go to hot yoga, and it kicks my ass. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 20 minutes, right before the market close. And doing that, folks, I love it. Lori, no, but prayer. I love it. Meditation, so mindfulness to me, Lori, is prayer. To me, Lori, prayer is when you speak to God. To me, my meditation is where God speaks to me. When I try and I got my own shirt on. Coincidence, I grabbed this shirt right out of the closet. I'm like, that's beautiful. So to me, that's when and folks, billionaire, one of the beautiful people, right? I'll never forget Ray Dalio. We're almost at the 2-year anniversary of Ray Dalio, 4 days. January 22nd, 2020, Ray Dalio, Donald Trump, all the beautiful people in Davos, right? January 22nd, Donald Trump looking into the camera on CNBC when Joe Kiernan asked him, final question, Mr. President, after he did his victory laps and on impeachment and beating China with a trade deal and stock market at record highs, Joe Kiernan had the gall to ask Donald Trump, hey, man, what's up with this flu thing? Like in China? And he got pissed. Why are you asking me that? Dumb question. I trust Xi. Good dude. Great backswing. Been to Mar-a-Lago. Love the guy. Not coming here. Dumb question. I think it was the same day Ray Dalio said what on CNBC? Cash is trash. If you ain't in the market, you're an idiot. President of the United States, billionaire Ray Dalio, Wiz. What did Wiz do? I looked into this camera and said, get out. Get out right now. Buy puts on the S&P 500, get long volatility. And we made millionaires. That's a shameless plug. But as soon as whenever I see Ray Dalio's name now, I can't get rid of that. I'll give you a book. You can order one of my books. I'll sign it, drop it in the mail today, called COVID Crash. But I brought up Ray Dalio because of his mindfulness practice. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about this tonight at 8. 3-year. Oh my God, you're right, Mark. Oh my God. I can't stand, ladies and gentlemen, when CNBC, Fox, Bloomberg uses the term smart money or legendary investor. If they're the smart money, I'm the fucking brilliant money. Nailed the Trump election and the market rally. Everybody else, Hillary wins. And if Trump wins for some awful reason, the market will implode. I'm like, first of all, he's going to win. I can't stand the guy. I just talk to people and the market's going to rally. Boom. COVID crash. We've nailed so much here. Am I a legendary investor? Am I the smart money? I'm you, man. This ain't hard, right? So anyway, let's get back on course. So I strongly recommend you just start, man. And the reason that meditation is called a practice, it's not called an well, it wouldn't be called an execution, but you just do, right? There is no, it's a practice. So anyway, great start to the day. Let's get airborne. We did our joint brief yesterday, kind of a little bit of solo Amazon and the primary live trade brief. Great looking trades. Goldman Sachs, I think it stopped its bleeding today. If you pounded Goldman Sachs the rest of the day yesterday, you printed money, as we talked about. So right now you're in the weekly options brief. I'm going to do a special tactical trade brief tonight. So 7 p.m., not going to sell you anything today either. We'll talk tonight if you want to join. And I'll send out some emails with the link, because when we get the number of people we want, we close the doors. We don't have 5,000 people here. I don't want 5,000 people. It's not my business model. I'd rather have quality over quantity. Don't need the money, got money, did my time on Wall Street. I'm doing this to help. It's called putting the ladder down. And tomorrow you're going to learn about one of the only spaces I am absolutely bullish in, and it might blow you away. And that'll be in AR. It's called accelerated retirement. Oh, thanks, John. You are legendary, but also humble and classy. Dude, that's high praise, John. I appreciate it. Remember, you're registered for all 4. Same link for each brief. You guys know who I am. Did all that stuff. Hornet guy, Wall Street guy. The biggest thing I'm proud of right now is obviously our foundation. I'm kind of rushing a little bit. I got to stop right at 11 because at 11:45, I got to be at the Rotary Club in Boca to give a keynote. And then at 2, I got to go down to the hangar because I'm shooting a documentary on UFOs. And apparently these folks, they're like in the middle of their documentary and they saw my Are We Alone podcast or debrief. And they reached out to me 2 days ago. We're like, dude, can we interview you for our documentary we're shooting? Because they were blown away. They're like, it's so interesting. Because did everybody get a chance to either listen to it or if not, don't worry about it. It's up to you. But this has been interesting. I don't know how they got it. I'm going to ask them today, obviously. But how'd you all? I don't know how you listen to my podcast. But here's the podcast. Are We Alone? It's so funny to see the reactions. Because again, folks, I was on one side of the aisle. Now I'm on the other. You know, maybe I'll meet in the middle someday. But it's really interesting to see the reactions to this. And I love it. I love the, excuse me. I love everybody. I love you're an idiot. Okay. And any type of stuff like that, I used to take personally. Now you just, that's a reflection on others, right? Somebody calls you an idiot or is like kind of mean to you. That has nothing to do with you. So, but the reactions to this have been pretty interesting. So I got a packed day, but we're going to have a good time in this brief. Let me wrap up the quick intro. Charity work. Here's what I wanted to get to. Just a quick reminder of kind of where you are. we're on the left side of the fence. We have two services under our training division here at Top Gun Options. Solo Amazon, which we only trade what? Amazon. That's $97 a month. And then now you're in Full Throttle. So tonight I'll give you a brief about how everything looks and how you can become a member. And if you're ready to put real capital to use, you can join one of our investment clubs. We have about 100 folks in the Hunters. We have about 200 in the Max Afterburner trading what? Our own money. The best hedge funds in the planet. These are mom and pops, lawyers, military guys, pilots, small business owners, doctors, you name it. We're two massive hedge funds and we're awesome. So just ask us. All right. So like I said, we did the primary brief yesterday. You're in weekly options right now. We'll do a brief tonight, kind of some full throttle training that I'm going to show you, because if you have no idea what the hell an option is, I'm going to teach you. You have no idea what a bull put spread is, I'm going to teach you. We take a building block approach. You show up to Navy flight school, you don't even have to have known what an airplane is, and in a short amount of time, they're going to turn you into a steely-eyed fighter pilot. Okay? You can go to Trustpilot and check out all our reviews and stuff like that. All right, here we go. Let's get airborne. Again, faster, funnier. I'm going to treat you like this is a regular live trade brief, so let's get airborne. In the past 24 hours, there's been some absolutely horrific and worse things in Ukraine. There was a missile strike on a civilian building. Of course, the Russians said, hey, man, that wasn't us. We are targeting military. We ain't hitting apartment buildings. A Ukrainian chief of staff dude, whatever his rank was, said, yeah, that was one of our missiles. It was an errant missile. What happened? The public freaked out, and that dude was forced to resign and said, I'm sorry, I misspoke. So could have been a Russian missile. But the dude who would have known's like, yeah, I mean, this shit happens. You're fired. Resign. We're going to kill you. Oh, sorry. Russia to boost troops in the West, expanding army to 1.5 million people. Folks, this isn't a fucking game of Risk that I used to play growing up. This is happening. Wiz, why do I give a shit? Because the VIX is at 19 and the S&P's at 4. When... Not if, when Vladimir Putin or one of his generals lights off a tactical nuke, the VIX will be at 90 and the S&P will be at 2,000. Looking at the VIX right now, folks, it doesn't give a shit about any of this. My job as your instructor pilot is to give you a brief. And when we're done and we get to the tactical part, I tell you, I'm putting on my flight gear and this is my jet and I'm getting into and this is what I'm targeting. You want to fly on my wing? Knock yourself out. If not, use the intel that I gave you and go target your own. You're the pilot in command. But folks, I end every part of the beginning of the Ukraine brief, the strategic brief, is going to get worse. Moscow details plan to boost military as Ukraine warns of fresh Russian offensive. Wasn't it a month or two ago? Like, Ukrainians, we've retaken this and they're on the run and Russia's going to, I'm like, it's not going to happen. Oh, you're a Putin plant. I'm a student of military history. And if you don't, Vladimir Putin was a KGB colonel from the old days. You're literally going to have to carry this guy out in a box. Or it's going to get worse. And then today, so 44 killed in a building yesterday that Russia's like, hey, man, that wasn't us. Ukraine dude, that was us. Ukraine dude fired. Ukraine, that was Russia. Okay. Today, 3 children, 4 innocent people on the ground, 16 people dead. Worst helicopter disaster. As we sit in this brief, and I got my cup of coffee and my old fighter mug and my yoga shirt on, people are fucking dying. CNN yesterday said the quiet part out loud. CNN admits Ukraine is a weapons lab for Western arms. Why are we in Ukraine? Well, it gives us the opportunity to test new weapon systems that are untested. You know, and this might not sit well with some of you. I really don't care because it's my truth. If you lead with your truth and your heart, you can never go wrong. Proxy wars are for cowards. Do you know how many times I see people on Twitter with the Ukraine flag in their bio go, well, it's none of our young kids are getting killed. How dare you? So you, who probably voted for Obama, who said America is not exceptional. We're not exceptional. We're everybody else. Now you've changed your mind and we're extremely exceptional. I don't want my kids dying in Ukraine. Let their kids die. Which one is it? Limousine liberals and elites? So we are exceptional. No, we're not. But we don't. Oh, because you're a coward. Cowards fight proxy wars. I'm going to tell you, my 22-year-old son sitting out there getting ready for Navy officer candidate school is the same as a 22-year-old kid in Ukraine. I don't want either one of those kids to die. But CNN, we got to pay the defense contractors. I told you yesterday, get bullish on the defense contractors. That's exactly what I hear, man. He's guys. This again. I hate waste. I'm not going to say wasting time on this, but every day, guys, I brief you on it's getting worse. You say the P word, you say the peace word, and you're immediately tarred. I was a war fighter, folks, trained to be a war fighter. If the war fighters are calling for peace, the people with the fucking Ukraine flags in their bios never wore a uniform a day in their life, never risked their life for a thing. It's pretty easy to sit in your air conditioning or your heat and type away. You should read this one because we're doing real world battle testing. Yay! Yay death! Yay destruction! Yay defense contractors! Yay us spending billions and billions and billions of dollars over there. 50,000 homeless veterans on the street. 44 veterans a day kill themselves. Here's another 50 billion to you, Zelensky. So, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? We got some inflation data today. So that was the strategic part of the brief. And it's really interesting, folks, because it's a weapons lab. Who else is looking at this right now? Who's learning? First of all, Russia's learning. They're like, okay, that article talked about what? They are buying a shit ton of kamikaze drones from Iran. Everybody's tactics are changing. You know who's paying attention? China. You know who's also paying attention? Iran. The world is going to be, it's going to be a more dangerous place. Does anybody in this room, besides Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, believe that Iran is not going to get a nuke? You listen to Netanyahu and his defense minister, they look into the camera and the microphone, they go, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. The Ayatollah. When we get a nuke, we're going to wipe Israel off the face of the map. You all tell me, what do you think the VIX is going to do with a Middle East war? And I've even brought up cream of some young guy in North Korea. Folks, this is going to get bad. Yeah, did you see that yesterday, folks? Joe Biden gave another great speech where he said, how dare you like the Second Amendment? He said it again. Nobody debriefed that guy. Like, you sound like a jackass. I have F-15s. It's stupid if you want an AR. I got fighter jets. That's the president of the United States. You can't take on me. I have F-15s. F-15s suck ass, but I'm a Hornet guy. Ladies and gentlemen, for the third time in his presidency, he threatened Americans. How dare you? Shall not be infringed. I got Eagles. This is your country. You can't fight me. I'm the government. The same people who said an insurrection, our government was almost overthrown, by a dude in a buffalo hat and face paint. Not one gun, not nothing found on January 6th. We almost lost our entire republic. Y'all bullish on this market? Y'all bullish on this country? And that ain't me, man. I hate feeling this way. The Gordon Gecko in me, I'm going to pound this shit into the dirt. I'm going to print money. I'm going to make money for me, my family, and you. Everybody else can suck it. So, what just came out? Something bad just came out. What's at 10 a.m. or 10:20? Something. Business inventories, the housing. Let me refresh. All right, so this morning, guys, we got some inflation numbers, and they weren't necessarily super. Oh yeah, we did the debt ceiling debate. Oh, this year, folks. This year, from war in Europe to the debt to war in America. I hate when you talk about politics. Then don't join or don't come to the free briefs. They drive everything. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary of the United States, who is the Federal Reserve chief who got us into this mess, she's the arson and now the firefighter. She, as of tomorrow, has to use extraordinary measures to pay our bills. We'll get into it in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to see if anything broke. But anyway, so we got some inflation numbers this morning. Supplier prices rose in December from a year earlier, but it's the slowest pace. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you're telling me the market is celebrating raging inflation. Let's dig into it. Before I get into some of this stuff, I love seeing these headlines because we talked about this a little bit yesterday, folks. Getting bullish now on volatility. When you see Market Watch, which is like thestreet.com, it's retail trash, but I love reading these headlines. Wall Street's fear gauge flashes warning that stocks might be headed off a cliff. Huh? What did we talk about yesterday? We brought up the VIX, the fear gauge, the volatility index. It is showing, oh my God, we're almost at 19. So, ladies and gentlemen, I say get long volatility when you see the whites of their eyes. This, I didn't have this on my brief today, but we might be getting long volatility today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with options trading or investing or anything like that, just know, delete the word volatility. It's an SAT word. Put in the word uncertainty. This is the uncertainty index. If you took fat younger Wiz that was in the board of trade in 2008, I look at old pictures of me. I'm like, no offense to anybody living in Chicago. I was happy, but I was miserable. If you teleported that dude, Wiz, I was in the board of trade. I went over to the SIBO, folks, when the VIX hit 90. I was at ground zero in the financial crisis. I was there. I'm like Forrest Gump. 9/11, the financial crisis. I've kind of been to some interesting places in my life. If you teleported me to today and I just listened to the beginning of this brief, I'd be like, oh my God, if the VIX was at 90 and you just teleported me, what's the VIX at today? 180? No, it's at 19. Shut up. There's war in Europe. There's war coming in Asia. There's war going to be in the Middle East with Israel and Iran and a nuke. There's 6.5% inflation. The Fed's raising interest rates. Earnings are starting to suck. The jobs market is softening and the housing market burst. Yeah. And the VIX is at 19. Yeah, duh. You know what would pudgy 2008 Wiz do? I would buy the VIX with both hands right now. How far out would you go, Wiz? A month. I told you, or I've been telling you, February is going to be a shit show. So put this on your kneeboard card that we have got. Today is the day. Today is the day to get long volatility. Okay? Oh my God, did you see that yesterday? Some commission in San Francisco. Every African American in San Francisco should get $5 million. and 97 grand a year for the rest of their life and debt forgiveness. So we fight racism today with racism. By the way, folks, I'm moving to San Francisco and I identify as African American. You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. And I'm also a woman. Well, no, I can. And if you say I'm not, that's a microaggression and a hate crime. Pick your lane of crazy. Which crazy highway are we on? Because I'm going to get on it. I saw that yesterday and it broke my heart. This country, folks, is spiraling out of control. Google it. Well, and it's funny, Dave, because they tried to map out like, well, you have to have been African American for at least 10 years. Okay. So when I fill out the application for my $5 million, I can just check African American, right? You're not asking for a picture, right? One of my best friends on this planet died in a plane crash going to see his son at Naval Air Station Kingsville. His call sign was Scammer. I love Scammer, man, and Scammer's with us today. I flew Hornets with Scammer. His son, like my son, Scammer's son was in flight school in Kingsville, and he took an old Warbird down to see his son for lunch, and he took off, and the engine failed, and he crashed right in front of his fucking son. I bring up Scammer because his call sign's Scammer because he is awesome. His dad was a missionary. Where was he born? South Africa. You know what he put on every application in his entire life? African American. We too can play at this. Microsoft CEO, 10,000 job cuts. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Joe Biden for the past year have been telling us about frothing at the mouth about how strong the job market is. Did you see Amazon laying off people? Did you see every tech company is gutting, which technically will be bullish eventually, but right now, all I hear is job cuts. Now, if you're Jerome Powell, you're sitting in your leather chair at the Fed going, good, good. He ain't going to say that publicly, but this is good. Remember, Wiz says that's awful. That's 10,000 bodies with families, loved ones. The Gordon Gekko in me says that's awesome. I got Microsoft up on my whiteboard. Keep getting rid of people. Gut it to the bone. Cut pay. Where's it go? To the bottom line, and I'll get bullish. If you want a friend, get a dog. You want to learn how to trade and make money? You join Full Throttle. So, jobs, I just did a rant 5 minutes ago. I'll take some steam off of it. Jobs starting to crack. Retail sales tumbled in December. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you, ain't no Santa rally. There was a little bit of, little umph. That ain't the Santa rallies I'm used to. Santa rallies I'm used to historically for 32, 33 years or what? Day after Thanksgiving, I sit there fat on the couch, watch football, and idiots beat themselves to death on TV because they need to get a Cabbage Patch doll. That's how old I am. And that would start the Santa Claus rally. Then we'd kind of peak in January as earnings came out and then slam into February. Retail sales tumbled in December. Somebody tell me how these earnings are going to be doing. The bank earnings were mixed to shitty. Retail sales? This is bad news. You ready? This is the Unilever CEO. Prices will keep rising despite peak inflation chatter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you're here. This is why you will be here and become a member. I cut through the bullshit. When you see a headline print, we nailed this a month ago. Breaking news, CPI 7.1%. The futures went up 800 points at 8:30 in the morning. I got in the Max Afterburner group. I got in the Hunters, and I said, sell into this pop. Sell into it. As soon as it opens, sell it with both hands. We went from the futures being up 800 to ending the Dow like closing down 30 points that day. Why? Because algos, machines, read that news. Inflation came in, X equals 1, which equals buy. And then when the humans get off the train, have their cup of coffee and go, holy shit, I'm selling it. And we printed money that day. The same thing, ladies and gentlemen, with this. You don't hear Joe Biden or his press secretary. What an awful press secretary. That woman, clearly we know why she was hired. I need an African-American lesbian. You're hired. Is that the best person for the job? No, but she's hired. But anyway, her and Joe Biden, and I don't even know what Kamala thinks, but ladies and gentlemen, inflation, the number that we see on the screen coming down, is bullshit. I know business, I do consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, prices are still going up. Businesses for the past 2 years who have been cranking up their costs, their prices, do you think they wake up one day and go, holy shit, the inflation's back down to 6.5. I'm going to cut my prices? Or no? Folks, I was at the Marriott Courtyard outside of O'Hare for 3 days. No room service, no fresh towels, no bed made. I go to the front desk. I'm like, so this room cost me more than it did a couple years ago. Yeah. For less services. Well, yeah. So you're not spending money on detergent, on washing, on staff or anything like that, but you're charging me the same, if not more, for the room. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, you had to ask for all of that stuff. I have to ask for clean towels. So, folks, this is why you're here. This is why we're smart. We are the smart money, folks. Despite this, inflation's coming in. It's got a tail. You ever hear of that? Inflation has a tail. And inflation is also what? Mental. Inflation is mental. This is why this is coming. Another one of my fantastic predictions was what? Joe Biden's sophomore year will be a train wreck, shit show, bear market recession. 4 for 4 until they change the definition of recession. What's my 2023 bold prediction? Copy, paste, worse. Bigger train wreck, bigger shit show, deeper bear market, deeper recession. This was the easiest prediction year for me to make. Copy, paste. Which strike, Bob? Yeah, we'll go out to February. We'll go out a month from now and start. So I had different stuff to talk about, but after reading this comical Market Watch headline, this is insane, ladies and gentlemen. When's the last time the VIX was at 19? March. Let's do a 2-year chart of the VIX. So right around here. Yeah, man. And let's just do a 5-year so you can see what? The COVID crash. Can't believe I have to click a 5-year chart to see COVID. Holy crap, we're all going to die. No, we're not. Ladies and gentlemen, and look at how we were before. Just kind of a massive freak out every once in a while. Other than that, it was little freakouts. Look at the VIX now. A lot more. Holy shit. Okay. You ready for this? This is worth the price of admission to this free trade brief today. Write this down if you are new to trading volatility. Get ready to copy. When volatility is cheap, you buy it. And here's your hand signals. Just like on the aircraft carrier flight deck, there was hand signals at the pits. Buy. One hand means I'm buying. When I say buy with both hands, that's what that means in the pits. When volatility is cheap, define cheap, Wiz. The VIX at 19 with everything I just briefed you on, the VIX is insanely cheap. Buy it with both hands. Write that down. When vol is cheap, buy. Volatility is cheap, buy. You ready for the blinding piece of brilliance now? When volatility is expensive, what do? Sell it. Sell it with one hand or sell it with both hands. Look at a 1-year chart of the VIX. If you got bullish on volatility whenever it was cheap, you made money. If you sold it when it got expensive, you also made money. Ladies and gentlemen, the VIX is a heart rate monitor. It's not a stock. Stocks, hopefully, go up and to the right, don't they? Yay! I bought a stock and it went up and to the right. The VIX is not a stock. It's an index. It looks at puts and calls on the S&P 500 30 days out. Okay? So, it returns, think of a big pasta bowl. Grab an orange and put it on the pasta bowl and it goes in. What's it do? It rolls around until what? It goes right down to the median. It reverts to its mean. So here's what's interesting, folks. The average resting heart rate of the VIX now is what? For the past, when the VIX come out? 93? 95? I was on the USS Abraham Lincoln when the VIX came out. Is where we're at. It's 19. How many years? 20, 35 years, whatever it is. Average of the VIX is, we're at it. Okay. So, let's go ahead. Oh, good. Learn double verticals, selling put verticals to buy bullish calls from me. Awesome. I'm glad you're learning stuff. Gabriel, let me finish VIX stuff and then we'll look at some other names, but because I had other stuff I wanted to cover, but the VIX breaking 19 today it's enough. Bye. So let's pull up our options chain. Let's delete a bunch of stuff. Let's go out. What's a month from today? That would be Feb 18. So the third Wednesday would be technically Feb 15. So this one, it's the Feb 23, literally 28 days to expiration. I'm going to open up my strikes a little bit so we can see everything. I'm going to go 40 wide. Let's go. Let me just scroll down. What are we currently at with the VIX? We're at 19 right here. So we're right here. Let me grab my little ball. 19. Okay. Now let's look up. Oh my God, man. Look at this. Look at the upside. These could be sold. They could be bought. But looking at the VIX right now and doing this for 3 decades, these are to buy. At the 25 strike, right, which is what? 20%, 25% pop in the VIX, 120,000. Almost 100,000 at the 29 strike. Holy shnikes. Let's see. Let's look at the double the VIX. 40. Is there anything at 40? Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people, institutions, hedge funds saying that in a month, the VIX is going to double. Double from 19 to 40, from 20 to 40. Wow. And then just go underneath that. And I got to be honest with you, folks, the VIX at 4, look at the pricing. VIX at 40, 23 cents. In the old days, those would have been a nickel. The fact that if you're sitting there going 23 cents is cheap, technically it's not a little bit. There's some premium in there. Why? Because it's possible. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to here real quick. Where do we make money? In the white. We make money in the white. Out here. My job is to project my thoughts forward in space and time so I can place trades today rather than react to them. I want to influence. I believe this, and folks, again, 200-day, fail. 200-day, fail. Whoop, again, nope, fail. Now? No. Can that happen? Sure. Anything can happen. If you believe in the infinite universe, there are infinite numbers of whiz sitting here rambling, which would be a horror. I guess that would be the definition of hell. So, or this. Let me again draw what I believe. If that is your we had 2 weeks of hover to get to the jobs and CPI. Yay. Okay. So there's your, that no Santa rally. I guess the some people are calling this a Santa rally. So if it is your old Santa rally, what usually happens? Pop level-ish through earnings into January, and then that. I mean, that's pretty brutal. But folks, if we get, and any sneeze, and this thing could be, back down here pretty quick, or at least to 3,800. If that happens, the VIX most likely will spike. It is cheap insurance, when the market goes down, especially violently, like it's doing right now in the S&P, the VIX tends to do what? Go up. Let me give you this little brief. Whoops, closed my thing by accident. So you ready for this? 80% of the time when the market goes down, holy crap, what's going to happen? Volatility is going to go up. Market down, VIX up. I said 80% of the time. Now, for all the new folks in here, please sit up straight and listen to me. 20% of the time is critical for you to understand. 20% of the time, the market can be up and the VIX is up. And you'll hear me say it in a live trade brief. Whoa, 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 whoa. Market up, VIX up, something is up. Write that one down too. When you become a TGO member, I'm going to give you a book of wizisms. You can write them down on your own. When I left that trading firm in Chicago, they had a wiki page. They had like an internal company wiki page. It was called Wizisms. I wish I had saved that. There was like 94 of them on there. We are almost at 100 of Wizisms. It ain't rocket surgery. I mean, people would just keep track of my one-liners, and I'm like, wow. Market up, VIX up, something is up. Usually when the market's kind of going up and people are like, I call it a hold your nose rally some of the time. Like, you know what? The market's going up, but you know what? I'm going to go get me some, I'm going to sell this pop. Market up, VIX up, something is up. Okay. So there are a bunch of different vehicles to trade VIX. Okay. I think there are, last count, this was years ago. I know somebody could Google it. How many VIX products are there? Like 30? So often I say, why trade a derivative of a derivative when you can trade the derivative? Because there's VXX, there's VIXY, there's TVIX, there's UVIX, there's literally Google VIX products, and there's 90 of them. There's the inverse triple VIX. There's why don't you just trade the VIX? Yeah, but I can do crazy stuff with this. Okay. You do you. But literally, there's like TVIX, the UVXY or something, the ProShares ultra short VIX, short term. I mean, if a 28-year-old coked up Goldman Sachs employee can think of it, they're going to make a product to make money. Trade the VIX, man. So let's go look at some realistic. If we get a February, in the next 28 days, we get some sort of February shit show. That's a recent, let me do this. That's a recent pop. What's that? 25. 25 is realistic. Recent pop over here. It was support here. It was resistance here. So 25, nice round number. Let's go take a look at the 25 strike. I love this stuff, man. Oh, maybe that was in my brain because it says 120 grand. So we could just buy I'm going to buy 60. Why 60? Because this is a $100,000 model portfolio. On any one trade, I don't like risking more than 5%. Why? Because I've been doing this for 30 years, and that's my SOP, my standard operating procedure. 5%, if I get kicked in the teeth, it sucks, but I'm not broke. That's my comfort zone. Look at the S&P 500. We should be buying these calls right now. I'm going to buy 50. What's going on with let me take a look at my mastermind group. Something. Who's it's, some Fed lieutenant speaking. Somebody ain't saying something bullish. So buy these calls now. They were at the VIX, was it under 19? Now it's already popping. So now you could, right? We bought these calls. First people to get these are my lifetime members in the trades only thread. And look at these guys, Tony, Eli, they're already beating me to it. I love my lifetime members. And then I go over to the Hunters, which is our other investment group club. And I paste it in there. Okay. Oh, it's Bullard. Bullard speaking. So he's a hawk. He ain't a dove. So Bullard speaking is definitely hawkish. So you could, ladies and gentlemen, so I just came out of pocket $5,000. If you were interested, you could sell, what did I do, 60? You could sell a higher strike to bring in some money. If you sold 60 of the 30s, you're technically capping your profit, right? We bought the 25s. We think the VIX is going to go either up or through 25. We could sell these upside calls, which are the 30s, to bring in, it says it right there, $2,700. So technically, we're only coming out of pocket $2,300 with those long calls. But we're also capping our profit because if the VIX, God forbid, races through 30, our profit's capped. But do you really care? I started this brief talking about meditation, stuff like that. Do not be the lady or the dude or the they. Can I say that? Like, what's her name? Taylor on Billions? They, them, there. Who looks at the screen and goes, oh shit, I could have made more money. You will be miserable. My dad, God bless him for eternal peace, would remind me every once in a while. He's like, Matthew, somebody's always got a bigger boat. If you're sitting on your boat having a great time, a glass of wine and some cheese, and a big boat sails by and you go, son of a bitch, you will be miserable your entire life. So if you don't want to cap your potential upside profit, don't sell upside calls. Step Options 101 that you will learn in Full Throttle and the 8 Full Throttle briefs that you get access to is what? Buying calls. Buying calls means you're bullish on something. You think something's going to go up. So the first tactic of today could be just straight buying those calls. Wiz, you sold me. I think volatility is going to spike in the next 28 days for whatever reason. I'm buying these calls. Perfect. Wiz, I think volatility is going to spike. It ain't going up to 30 though. And if it does, who cares? But I'm going to sell these upside calls to bring in. Remember, when you buy something, when you bought those calls with both hands, you came out of pocket $5,000. When you sell the ceiling, you bought the floor already. When you sell the ceiling, you bring in money. Whenever you sell something, you bring in some coin. So if we sold these upside calls, we put a lid on our profit, but we bring in some money. Oh, I should have done it. I needed to do these together because they're thinking these are naked. So I'm not, let me do these together because obviously I'm not filled on these calls. So I canceled that one. I'm just going to do that trade together. If you're lost at what just happened, I was not filled on those long calls yet. So me trying to sell those calls were naked. And E-Trade's like, are you insane? Selling 60 calls with no protection? No. So thank you for not letting me do that. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is actually the spread. Buy 60 of the 25 calls, sell 60 of the 30s. Bullish on volatility using calls, and this tactic is a spread. The tactic is titled a bull call spread. Okay. Let's fire, 40. I'll keep it right there. So then you see now the order will go through. So good little lesson in selling a spread. Look at Tony doing the Lord's work. He got on those calls, or the bear call spread, and then out. So Tony's in the background here shooting snipers. So when Tony saw the market, let's go over here to SPX. And I won it. As soon as that thing turned, I'm in the zone, man. What a great brief. Just ask me. I should have sniped. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But nice job to all the sniper shots in the background. As soon as you saw this thing turn, you could have pounded this into the dirt. Right back, as we briefed, to what? To the 200-day moving average. We're going to go right back to that thing, folks. And lower, I believe. Nice job, Tony. Oh, sorry. Screen not changing. What am I doing here? So right here, I was giving Tony props. Sorry about that. So he put a sniper bear call spread on and then just closed it. This is why you want to be in the investment club. We'll talk about this tonight, guys, but because I got 9 minutes left, got a shower, throw my flight suit on, go to Rotary, the hangar, and then back tonight for the brief. This is why you want, when you join Full Throttle tonight, today, tomorrow, please get into, Lifetime's not open right now. At least you can get into the hunters, and it's a pretty good deal. It's going to be a great deal. Lifetime's a bigger commitment, bigger investment, but it's you get access to everything, and it's definitely worth it. Okay. All right. So here's my Rotary brief. You know what? I'm not going to force it. I had another couple trades I was going to look at. I don't force trade anything out. William, why not do 1930 call spread instead? William, 6 of one, a half dozen the other, man. I'm just kind of showing you what I'm doing. And get ready, man. I might even, where's 39.75? Nah, look at that. That 39.85. Boom, boom. If we get a strong bounce here, I'd do a bull put spread. If not, we're heading down to 39.75. I love this stuff. This is fun stuff. Swear to God, last night I did my honey and my tea, and I'm still hoarse from yelling at the hockey tournament this weekend in Chicago. That was fun. Okay, you know what? But if you like other VIX products, I haven't even looked at VXX in a long time. VXX is the Barclays, but again, I don't get it, man. If you can trade the VIX, all these other inverse with a twist cocktail sauce stuff, it's not me. I just don't do it. Goldman Sachs recover. Yeah. Let me drop in a 340 right here. How's Amazon doing today? It was ripping higher a little bit. But this, folks, retail sales. Yeah, I knew Amazon. So we have a bear call spread, a weekly trade. That's fine. If anything, folks, I would potentially leg into an iron condor here. I like is there any premium down here in a 96? What did we do yesterday? This is the weekly options portfolio I have up. Let's just go look at what I did yesterday. Well, you know what? I'm not going to force a trade, but we just broke 39.85. Now we're heading lower. I'd shoot the snipe. And again, I'm going to teach you all this stuff, folks. The 98, 99, 75 contracts. Well, I'm not going to throw this over my shoulder as I leave, but if we keep imploding, we'll cover this tonight. You know what? this will be our training tonight. We will cover maybe legging into an Amazon Iron Condor for Friday. Whoa, there we go. Good turn, man. Fire your snipers. Bye-bye. Look at that. Boom. Burn, baby, burn. Okay, guys, I need to go. Not that you need the visual. I need to shower, throw on my flight suit, get my speech ready for the Boca Rotary thing. I'm gonna at least throw this over. This I will throw over the shoulder. If you want to start looking at the different packages, I was gonna open up the doors tonight. A couple of you already grabbed your slot because you're smart. Why? Because this is the replay page. If you are, because I know some of my partners mailed last night and there was a big spike in registrations. If you didn't attend our brief yesterday, where we covered the Goldman Sachs trade that we closed in a day and a half for $3,300 and a new Amazon bear call spread. Whoa, burn, baby, burn. 7 minutes ago, I said we're going to see 39.75. Exactly, JP. Nostradamus. I love this stuff, man. This is when you I had almost 3,000 hours in the Hornet. You got to know the airplane, man. The sounds, the humming, you became one with it. And sometimes, man, I feel this stuff. And guess what? It's teachable. I didn't hatch an options trader, man. But here's the replay page. So some of you who watch the replay already grabbed your slots because there's a buy button on the page to grab your slot. I love when people do smart things. Centol. Awesome. I'm going to show people you said that. And it sucks because there's so many people we can't be and go to training and you can't see everybody's chat. But here's look at Randy at the bottom. Began it monthly and now lifetime, and that has been the fantastic decision. I love that, Randy. You've been a great addition to the lifetime too. So, folks, crawl, walk, run. Randy, lifetime. I'm going to grab that. Thank you, Randy. Crawl, walk, crawl, walk, run, ladies and gentlemen, is how we do this here. Let me give you a 3-minute brief, and then I'll get going for all the people who are new. If you're a current member, you're cleared off. If you're a current member, still come tonight because let's talk about legging into an Amazon Iron Condor, a weekly. Unless we keep imploding and then we just love our bear call spread for max profit. But anyway, so there's the replay page. My apologies. I'm going to apologize in advance. I already told you I got a Rotary speech and a shoot for a UFO documentary. So this replay will be posted when I'm at the hangar and I can post it. It's usually posted within 20 minutes. So my apologies. So there's the replay page. Here is where you can grab your membership. Only 50 of them, man. And we will close the doors tomorrow. Maybe next week I'll do a free solo Amazon brief, for people who, Wiz, I'm not ready, full throttle yet. $97 a month is a bottle of wine. I'm in. I'll do that Monday. How about I do that? Deal? Deal. Charles, I'll let me go to the shoot and I'm going to brief you on it because I got a big email about it. Like, hey man, we saw your podcast. We're in the middle of a UFO documentary and we're blown away. I don't even know what it is. So I'm glad I'm telling you all. If you don't hear from me, I was kidnapped. You know how you you press 911 on your cell phone if you're in a bad neighborhood. So Charles, if you don't hear from me, they abducted me. So here's the deal. If you want access to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, full throttle, these live trade briefs, text alerts, the replays, and 8 live training sessions to teach you how to trade options, this is your choice on the left. It's $295 a month. Had a nice dinner last night in Delray, and it was a hell of a lot more expensive than that. For 1 month of access into the stuff you're getting free this week, it's only $295. Let me cover the annual first because these two are kind of connected. The annual is a 50% discount. It's only $29.95 for a year. And if you attended the brief yesterday, you saw that in 2 days, I made, you ready for this? What a number. 5555. The Goldman Sachs trade, and then a Friday sniper that was $19.50 in profit, $2,000. So in a couple hours on Friday and a day and a half with Goldman Sachs, $5,500, folks. With one trade, the Goldman Sachs trade, a day and a half trade, I paid for an annual membership in the Full Throttle. So here's the deal with the annual. You also get access to that investment club called the Hunters. That is the best deal. This is my instructor. This is how it looks to me. It looks different to you on our member page, but this is the Hunters, folks. I post my trades in here, my intel in here as much as I can. I answer questions. This is our live. This is our investment club. Okay. The annual is the best deal. $29.95. I just showed men lie, trades don't. I already paid for it. And we have an Amazon trade that should pay for it by Friday too. What's the middle? Folks, if you want access, first of all, to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday live trade briefs and the Hunters, but you just want to try it out for a couple months. Wiz, I want access to this investment club and the Full Throttle. Not ready for kind of the big annual yet. That's $497 a month. This is the test flight for me. Okay. If you want access to the investment club and the Full Throttle monthly, do this for a couple months and then shoot us an email that says, I'm ready to upgrade. Now I'll do the annual. So this is kind of the test flight is in the middle. That's how I'll say it going forward. The test flight is in the middle. This is the better deal. And I'm 2 minutes over. Damn it. Make sense? That's as much selling as you're going to get. Can't stand selling. Hopefully it's sold itself. Tony, I did the $497 for 4 months, then went lifetime last year, and it was well worth it to try out first. Louis, absolutely. Is the Full Throttle annual good for beginner? Absolutely. So Louis, I'm going to take you as an amoeba. You're an amoeba beginner, and I'm going to teach you this is a call, this is a put. This is volatility. We're going to take a building block approach, Louis, and in a short amount of time, I'm going to turn you into a steely-eyed fighter pilot options trader. Period. Failure is not an option. So Louis, the Full Throttle annual is perfect if you're brand new or a Jedi master. This squadron takes everybody. Ray, solo Amazon is separate. It's only $97 a month. Okay? $97 a month. And maybe I'll do that. I'll open up. We can talk about that some other time. The confused mind says no. Betty, you saw a different brief. That offer is only good for that brief. That was a special offer. So if you got that, you can do that. But that's not, as I said in that brief, that was only good for that brief. So folks, one thing you're going to learn about me, if you're new to who I am, I'm a man of my word, and I ain't no bullshit. And whether it stings or not or whatever, respectful truth over artificial harmony. So if I say on a brief, this offer is only good for this brief, that's what that meant. So there you go, Betty. So, and let me just show you this stuff. So yeah, Tony said I did the $497 for 4 months. So that's a good idea, folks. If you do the $497, do it for a couple months, and then you upgrade into other stuff, or just do the $295 and flight test it for a couple months. Solo Amazon separate. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, go to etrade.com/topgun and you can set up a free paper trading account. Look at that. Look at the dead cat bounce in the S&P 500. I love this shit, man. Look at this. Implosion to 39.75, where I said it would. It bounced. Now that's confirmation that we're going lower. I told you at the beginning of this brief we would go back to the 200 day moving average. Louis, I got to be honest with you, my brother. I'm not a thinkorswim guy. I don't like it. I know Tom Sosnoff. Not a big Tom Sosnoff fan for a whole host of reasons. It's too clunky. The best options trading, I help build Options House, guys. I built a retail brokerage. The best options trading platform for beginners to intermediate. If you're a Jedi Master and you don't need all this shit, you can go to some basement thing that just fires trades and you're paying nothing. This is the happy medium. So Lewis, if you are where you are, go to etrade.com/topgun. If you go there, you can, I'll teach you how to trade options in the F-18 that I'm flying as well. It's a little thinkorswim. I love, they're like Scientologists, man. They love it. And they got their symposiums. I love it. I love that type of stuff. You got a squadron you like, you got a jet you like. That's awesome, man. I love it. If you're having problems on thinkorswim, bro, go to eTrade. etrade.com/topgun. I tried eTrade. Full disclosure, we looked at buying thinkorswim. Remember that whole InvestTools thinkorswim merger? I think my NDA has expired about 10 years ago, so I can talk about all that shit. You're welcome, my brother. All right, I got to go. 6 minutes late. I got to run the Rotary. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to see you all tonight at 7 p.m. Let's do some markets closed. We'll hang out. We'll talk, and we're going to do some training. Thanks, JP, for the mutual support. All right, guys, I got to go. God bless. Fight's on. Go grab your slot right now. And because at 50, there was like, 4 or 5 people that got it off the replay page yesterday. We'll close at 50. Man of my word. All right, guys, God bless, and I'll see you tonight.